Hello, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Glad you made it. If you're here, just go ahead and leave a comment so I know that you're here. Let's open this wine. It's always something. It's always something. Ah, gotta love it. I wouldn't be me if I didn't have something go wrong. My head hurts a little bit right now. I still have a little bit of a cough. Hi, Kennedy. I am breaking the seal on this wine so we can get to pouring. I have a Pinot Blanc tonight. So hopefully I like this because, as we all know, I'm not a big white wine fan, even though I've been finding some that I've liked. But let's see. And I only got it because I thought the bottle looked pretty. So there was no extraordinary story behind me picking this bottle, except for I thought the bottle was pretty and it had a K on it. So I bought it. Oh my gosh, all the foil wants to come off. Okay, let's go ahead and get this open so we can pour. I am using my holiday cups. I bought too many, I believe, in my head because I just went a little crazy. There were cups everywhere and they were all so cute. This one came from Target's 135 section. So I had to buy it. Well, I didn't have to, but I chose to. Let's see. This aerator has been one of the best things to happen to my wine as well. I don't have a good grip on that. Okay, I won't pour too much. That's a very beautiful bottle. Let's see how the legs are. Oh, pretty. Well, thank you. And hi, Luana. Yes, I'm trying to get in the holiday spirit. I'm getting there. I'm getting there. Still don't have a tree yet. So I probably should try and do that this weekend. Yeah, because Christmas is what? Next Monday? Not this upcoming Monday, but the following Monday. Yeah, I should probably get a tree like soon so Santa can really come. But it's pretty. Smells good. Let's see. Oh, that's good. That's good. So the tasting notes on this one carries aromas of apples, and it's a little saltine to it. It's a little acidity that dances on your palate. It says fruit and mineral notes. The finish is long and salty for a wine that's crisp and quite refreshing. It is actually refreshing. So I'll give it that. This is go really good with some pasta. But that's not what I ate tonight. But it's pretty good. It's pretty good. I might drink that again. That might be a rebuy, but I got to see how I feel when I wake up tomorrow, things like that. So depending on how I feel when I wake up, that'll determine if it's a rebuy for me. Whew, okay, I'm chilling. I'm here. So apparently Draymond Green has been suspended indefinitely. If you don't follow sports, he plays for the Golden State Warriors. This is following an on-court altercation earlier this week. So it's only Wednesday. So when was the game? What, yesterday, the day before? But they announced it today, and I don't know. I feel like Draymond's been pushing it for a while. So if he finally got suspended, then that means that people are finally tired of his shenanigans because Draymond is out of control. And yeah, I'm just gonna leave it at that because Draymond been pushing it for a minute, and it's been a couple times that he should have been suspended, and he didn't. So yeah, let's see how long that lasts. That's hilarious. Twitter is eating him up, huh? Let's see. Well, I mean, like I said, he's out of control. He's been asking for, this to happen for a long time. Let's see. Oh, he's not trending though. Oh, wait. No, I didn't go to trending. Sorry. Uh, no, it doesn't. Oh, nope. I lied. He's trending number 16. Sixth time in 9 months. Jesus Christ. Oh my gosh. Yeah, they got some good stuff up here. They got some good stuff. It says Jordan Poole saying Adam Silver suspend Draymond Green indefinitely. This is great. Yeah, Draymond's been asking for this, so it looks like he's got to, deal with the punches that he's been dealing. But man, that's crazy. He's been doing this for a while. You know who else low key is a bit much like him though? Russell Westbrook. And that's just my own opinion. I like Westbrook, don't get me wrong, but he's a bit much sometimes. And, he does some things that are questionable and have you like, you should have been in some trouble for that. But, it is what it is. But yes, so let's move right in to this topic. And I got on this because I was having a conversation with a few friends on chemistry and compatibility. And it was more so we were talking about it in respect to a friend, a mutual friend. And, just talking about how how sometimes you mesh with people and then eventually you realize, okay, you don't mesh with them anymore. And I feel like a lot of the time, but we more so talk about it in relationships, which is, where I want to stay tonight. But chemistry, it's like that initial rush that you feel when you meet somebody. And, it's such a powerful feeling. You really tend to gravitate to this person. You find yourself wanting to hang around them more, so it's the initial, when you meet somebody. Um, like I said, even with friends, it's like, even with friends, I noticed that sometimes a lot of people that hang out with each other initially, it's about how a person looks. So whether it's romantic or platonic, you're initially, connected to somebody by, the look. And if someone says, oh, I don't judge off looks, okay, lies, because we are all attracted, to looks first. Looks are very important. So when people say, yes, it's not the most important thing, we're not going to say that's like the be all that ends all. However, looks are, a big deal. Whether it's friendships, romantic relationships, that's what gets you is the chemistry. And while chemistry, is the initial attraction, compatibility is what keeps people, beyond the initial chemistry stage. Hi, Micah. I got a white wine tonight. I hope you have your drink. But chemistry and compatibility do not always overlap. Like sometimes it's just, that's what it is. Some people are just, it's the initial chemistry. Like I've had people that I've met and the spark, it was there, they seem like cool people. And then the more I got to know them, it was just like, no, it's not somebody that I could see myself being friends with long term, things like that. I'm not a big dater. I've always been in a relationship, things like that. So I can't say how I am that, way. I want to say lucky, I guess, where I haven't had to do all that dating. So speaking for myself, but but even past the initial feeling of chemistry and realizing compatibility, sometimes I give people too many chances and then I get hurt in the end. So, but moving on. Compatibility is an essential part. Hi, lady. Thanks for joining. Compatibility is always an essential part in long-term relationships. Again, romantic and platonic. So if you're paying attention to how compatible you are with someone, it kind of helps decide if you want to be, long term with them. Again, chemistry is just the initial. So, yes, in the beginning, it may seem like everything is absolutely amazing. You're so excited about this person. And, the more you get to know them, the more you see, you know, what you like or what like, feelings come from chemistry, so think about it from that aspect. And chemistry is very strong to the point sometimes where people uh they confuse it with compatibility, and I don't think most people take, the time to separate the two. They're still stuck on that, oh, but we're so cool with each other, things like that. Or sometimes the chemistry, and people don't understand that sometimes chemistry is, intellectual as well. So sometimes you can be having a conversation that is just so intriguing that your mind is just like, wow, I am completely captivated, things like that. And you're like, you're attracted to that person because of that. And then the more you get to know them, you're like, I really don't have too much else in common with the person. And then, it fizzles. So when you're feeling comfortable in choosing based on chemistry, you have to go into it and really dissect what it looks like to you and what you feel like you're most compatible with, because compatibility again is between, the two people. um, Beyond the initial stage where the chemistry is, it means looking at um, how you align with a person. Hi, Andrea. Welcome. Glad you can make. I hope it. Well, we already had that conversation, so have some water, girl. You get a pass. Um, Looking at the lifestyle choices and their values, things like that. So I broke down, some questions to ask when you're looking at, the compatibility, whether it's your partner or, even with a friend. Because again, like I said, this came from a conversation with a friend and understanding, compatibility. But how does a person deal with their feelings? How do they handle their anger, their stress, and their sadness? A lot of the time, it's not until you spend, a certain amount of time with a person that you're able to see these things, because it's just like when you're going through, having fun, like that's all you do is go out, you may drink, you may eat dinner, things like that. You don't see a person. It's not until you get close enough to a person where you feel comfortable enough to, open up to them that you really get to, see more of them. Anger is a big thing. We all have it. If anyone says they don't get angry, they're lying. And, they need to evaluate themselves. Stress. I know most people that are stressed every day in some way, and some people's stress may not look like other people's stress, so they don't understand why they're stressed about the things. And sadness is a really big one because it shows you a lot about how compassionate a person is. And with me, I'm a big person on um, being there for people when they're sad. So I feel like that to me is one of my top, things. Another thing, and this is one that my grandparents always told me, is you really don't know a lot about a person until you travel with them. You go eat with them, things like that. So seeing how they are, outside of their, their normal comfort zone, seeing how they are with their friends, family, and at restaurants, that will really show you a lot about a person, especially in a romantic setting. If you don't live with each other and then you travel with them, it can show you, how they are outside the house. What are their little, quirks that you may or may not like. Maybe when they take their shoes off when they come in the house, they leave them at the door. They leave their socks wherever they take them off. They take off their clothes and just drop them on the floor and leave them wherever it is. If that's something that you don't think you can handle, at least you can see it then. So I feel like once you hit a certain mark in a romantic relationship, that's when you can, determine if you want to go forward long term. But, that's just me. Also with friends, you really see a lot about them when you travel, because you get to see, their spending habits, how they handle, doing excursions, things like that. I'm more of a planner person, but I'm learning to go with the flow. So I may start off with, oh, I kind of research where I'm going, and then I'll look and go, oh, okay, well, I want to do this, I want to do that. And if we get to it, we get to it. And sometimes we don't. Sometimes what may start off as, oh, this is what we're going to do, turns into now we're on a whole different, you know, trip. And I feel like that's good, especially now that I've learned to kind of let go and let life a little bit more. So it kind of helps. uh, Going to restaurants. Nothing will kill a vibe like sitting here and you're at a restaurant and there, a good amount of people. And now here comes the check. Now let's all play the I only had water and bread game, and you want everyone to split the bill. I'm going to tell you right now, unless it's my closest friends, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that at all. I'm gonna pay you for what I had, unless it's like a birthday. Like I've gone out where it's people's birthdays. I will look at what the birthday person had, and I will put money in for them because I always felt like the birthday person should never have to pay for their own stuff, even if they planned it. They shouldn't have to pay. It's their day. They wanted you to celebrate with them, so celebrate with them and make sure you take care of them. So that's just one of my big things. So, but even with how they are with their friends and family will show how they are with you most of the time, because some people, will still not treat you right, and they value, friends and family. So that's a big one. Um, Another way to kind of gauge as well is, when you look at, this is romantically, marriage, children, politics, uh, religion, even, how do their values with that align with yours? And if you can accept that or not. Some people, don't want to get married. Some people don't want children. I've seen people where, it's like one person wants to get married, the other person doesn't. And the person that wants to get married feels like, oh, well, I can change their mind. Doesn't work that way. Or there's one person that wants to have a kid and the other person that doesn't have a kid, and they always feel like, oh, well, maybe you. And sometimes it does change, sometimes it doesn't. Maybe that person, doesn't feel like, oh, this person is going to be a good, parent, so that's why they don't want to have kids. Or maybe they're not going to be a good enough, husband or wife. Or some people just value marriage at a different level, so it's like, relationship wise, they're looking at it as, oh, well, we're not completely committed if we're not married, so they're not giving you all of the everything that you desire, so you do have to essentially get married to have those things. One of my biggest things that I truly do not like when it comes to the whole kids thing is when a relationship doesn't work with the other parent. And people are like, oh, you should have, judged better. How are you supposed to know how a person is going to be with kids, even if they have nieces, nephews, things like that, that they are with on a consistent basis until they have children of their own? Because that is a completely different ball game versus babysitting, watching other people's kids. You can be the most attentive godparent, aunt, uncle, things like that, but when you have your own kid, you may, it's a overwhelming. It's 24/7. It's 24/7. Even when your kids are at school, that's still yours. That is still your job. And it's a lot that goes into it. So you don't know what type of parent a person is going to be until you're actually parenting with that person. So I really feel like people need to cut people slack when it doesn't work out with people in their relationships and having kids. Uh, Politics, religion, those are big ones as well. I feel like politics, to me, not so much for me, but that's because I'm not in a situation where, politically we're not aligned. Religion, we all know how I feel about religion. I feel like there's a difference between having, your spirituality and having your own thing and being religious. My grandparents were married for, until both of them, well, until my grandfather passed, but they were married the entire time. My grandfather was raised in the church. My grandmother raised in the church. My grandmother continued to go to church in her adult life, and my grandfather didn't. He did not, shun her for that. He didn't take anything away, from saying, oh, you shouldn't do that, things like that. He just did not like being in church, period. She respected that. He respected that. So that was one of those where they were compatible enough to where it's like, I'm going to do my thing, you do your thing. And that's what it is. He still prayed, things like that. So it was like mutably they aligned. So I feel like that was a pretty big one. Life goals. Does the person that you're trying to have a friendship with or you're dating have the same goals as you? I have friends who, for the most part, we all have the same thing. We want to be successful, make our money, spend time with our friends, those of us that have significant others, hang out with them, be good friends, things like that. Like those are our goals. We want to, all have things that we want to achieve while we're here. So when it comes to my friends, I feel that same way. Sorry about this cough. So I feel like you have to look at that. Like if you just have friends that all they want to do is party and you are trying to become the next multimillionaire, you're not gonna you're not aligned with each other. So I feel like that's a big thing to, to understand too when it comes to, the compatibility of your friendship as well. Uh, so look at that when you're going through all of that. And with all that, being compatible doesn't mean that you deal with everything the same way and you get along all the time, because sometimes being too much alike can be a bad thing as well, because you're so much alike. Now you're button heads. Opposites actually do make a good positive. So, you look at everything. You have to see how well you get along. Can you get through the everyday life with each other and not want to kill each other? I mean, I guess you could say, in that way. So, how does that person fit into your life for the long run? I have, friends that I thought were going to be here long term. I've had relationships where I thought they were going to be long term and they weren't. And, I guess it's for the best, that they weren't. Well, I can't say I guess. It was for the best that they weren't. However, it's like it doesn't mean that it didn't hurt at the moment, but you learn to deal with it. But you really, I think how much you value a person really does help with how well you get through the parts that you don't mesh well with. And when you don't have value in a person, it is harder for you to look past certain things. You're just like, okay, well, I'm over it. And that's just what it is. And um sorry, I got a little emotional thinking about some stuff. But when you figure out those things and you realize what you want and how that compatibility fits you, it helps you build on your relationship, because a lot of it is foundational. And, if you have a foundation that's just based on vain situations, it's definitely not going to work. And here's some ways to tell if you are compatible in your relationship, because most of us don't understand that either. Is there a mutual respect for each other? Like, do you genuinely respect that person? Like, yes, even with the differences, can you look at that person and say, I understand, I care. I may not agree with all of that you said, but yes, I still respect you as a person. If you don't respect that person, you know, past that part, then that might not be one of the signs. That's a bad sign, as well. You accept them for who they are and admire them. You don't spend too much time wishing that they do too much differently. Um, that is big. Like I tell people, all the time when it comes to my partner. Like, I don't think there is a day that goes by where I'm just like, okay, this person brings me joy. And, even with, our differences and, things like that, I still don't look at it as one of those situations where I'm just like, I don't look up to them. I still, look for them to be there for me, I guess you can say. I appreciate, the advice they give, he gives things like that. So, but even with my friends, if I come to it, I don't go to everybody for advice. That is one of the biggest things that I've learned in life. Everybody does not have your best interest at heart. So when it comes to your friends and your admiration for them, the people you confide in are usually the people that, one, have your best interests at heart. They genuinely care about you. They aren't looking just for, information on you so they can gossip, but they're looking to actually look out for you so they can be like, hey, I thought about this. And maybe you could have said, this, or you could have done this differently. So that way there is less, you know, friction, whatever the case may be. So when it comes to, my friendships, my partner, that those are things that are important to me. But it takes a lot for me to open up, about personal stuff, things like that. Which lately, my shorts are driving me absolutely insane right now. Your partner accepts you for who you are and doesn't try to change you. I when people think change, it's not stuff like, oh my gosh, you left the toilet seat up. Can you put the toilet seat down? No, we're not talking about trivial things. We're talking about somebody that wants your personality to not be who you are. When someone accepts you for who you are and they're not trying to change you, that means that they are accepting your good, your bad. Uh, okay, whoever you are, Pola. They accept whoever you are, for yourself. They're not looking to tell you that um, you need to dress a certain way, you need to talk a certain way, you need to, do things like, maybe their significant other, uh, their friend's significant other, things like that. Like, I was in a situation for a long time where that's why I say I'm learning who I am today, and I am enjoying who I am becoming because I am starting to be who I want to be, and was pushed to be, who I want to be and be accepted. Okay, so it looks like we've got some spammers on here tonight. Hilarious. Pro commenter man. Interesting. Funny stuff going on. This is funny to me. Okay, I'm gonna keep going. So yeah, definitely. You don't want to be with somebody that's trying to change you, whether it's your friend or your significant other. And people that uplift you and validate your perspective on certain things. Hmm. Who is little Tyrone? Inquiring minds want to know. Um, uplifting each other. That's not saying that you won't go through things, but with my friends, I even send them, words of encouragement in text because boy, life be life and sometimes we go through things and sometimes when you realize you haven't talked to your friends, they're going through stuff. And I am developing bonds with my friends that we can talk to each other and let each other, know how we're feeling, check on each other, things like that. And it's a mutual respect. We can talk to each other without, any type of anything. And I've recently had to be checked on, how I do things as well. And, with situations where, okay. Yeah, where I had to be checked about how I handle, a situation and how I was affecting, someone that I care about. And it I'm not going to say it bothered me, but it did open up a dialogue where I was able to say, that is not, my intent. That's not what I was trying to do. And I appreciate you telling me that, because this is what I was doing. And this is why I was doing it, because when I was doing it this way, you know, it wasn't being received. So I tried it a different way. But, it's like, again, that goes back to that whole, love language thing. To love, someone, whether it's your partner or your friends, in the way that they need to be loved, you have to learn to accept what they're saying to you about how you're affecting them, in order for them to, you get it. So I think a lot of one of my biggest growth areas with being better, when it comes to making sure that I'm doing a good job of being a better friend, a better partner, a better parent, is listening, to the constructive criticism. Yes, I'm not going to lie. Sometimes it does hurt my feelings, and I got to get over it. But I would rather that person tell me how they feel, and I know I need to work on that to be better, than me continuously do something that is not my intention, one, and two, it can be corrected. Because, okay, we're talking a lot about $16. My goodness. Okay. And you share similar lifestyle choices and goals. You cannot, well, yes, you can. I can't say that. There are some aspects where you can have a lot going on, and you can still have certain things where you don't get along with somebody. I guess so, but I need my money first before I start reading cards. That's hilarious. Oh man, I have no clue what is going on here tonight. Kitty cards. That's, the comments went left real quick. Um, so let's say, I talk a lot about with my friends, 7 hours nonstop too. Oh my goodness. I talk a lot with my friends about, being a stripper, and will you summon a demon for fun? That would be so cool. Wow. What is going on here? Being a stripper and OnlyFans, things like that. And a lot of it is out of fun. Sometimes it is like, okay, I might be serious. One day, life is life and then getting expensive. Right. I said that, Mike. I'm like, the comments are they went left today. They going a little crazy. So yeah, I have no idea what's going on, but okay, thank you for the views. And, so you can have similar lifestyle choices and goals, and then there are certain things that you don't have the same. Like, I would have not have a problem with a friend that's a stripper. That's not my business. If she has other things that align with me, then it is what it is. I don't knock anybody for what I used to. I was very judgmental a long time ago. I was very, very judgmental. I did not agree with certain things because I was told that's what you weren't supposed to do. So I was not open-minded about a lot of things. But in my growth into the woman that I am becoming, it's become one of those where it's just like, everybody is their own person. They all have their own destiny. Are they still a good person? Do they, are they out here, killing, stealing, beating, things like that? No. If they're not doing any of those things, we have other things that are in common. I don't care what you do, you know, in that aspect. So I'm not going to say everything's got to be a similar lifestyle choice, but for the most part, most of my friends are the same. We all moms, we all work, we all take care of our kids. um, we just want to be good people and, continue to grow as people. And there's that similar lifestyle choice. I would like to say, even with my relationship, it's the same thing. I feel like my relationship challenges me more than anything in my life does, because it's one of those where it's like I do not get the opportunity to stay stagnant. It's one of those where I cannot. Okay, I need somebody to translate that one because I can't read it. Lady, that's all you. Uh I'm not allowed to just accept, you know, a thought. It's challenge yourself, grow. The challenges, college really taught me how to be friends with people with different lifestyles. Yes, for those who went to college, that is really the best avenue to get to know people with different lifestyles and accept them for who they are. I agree with that one. So that's good that you learned that, because you learn not to be so judgmental. You have no clue. I was judgy as fuck. I'm not gonna lie. Ooh, my bad. I was judgy, like to the point where it was just like, who does this girl think she is? Judgy. And now I'm just like, I had no business being like that. I was a crappy person, probably a crappy friend, because I was judging, certain things. And it's just like, who am I? Who am I? And they were probably a better person than I was. So, okay, thank you. Yeah, it's never judge a book by its cover. Get to know people first, and you know, go from there. Uh, and in closing on this lovely topic, because this one did touch my heart, and mainly because I have, like I said, some dope individuals in my life. Hi, Megs. Chemistry pulls you together. Compatibility is what keeps it together. So hold on to that. And I would say now is the time, and you ain't got to go. I hate when people go on Facebook. Oh, 2024. I'm letting, fooey. Evaluate, multiple times a year, when at every stage of your life, and see, how do people fit. Are they there to drain you? Are they there to uplift you? Things like that. How do they fit where you are? Because sometimes you do outgrow people, and it is sad and it hurts to have to let them go. But it is what it is. But definitely look at that and really understand what you're going through. And yeah, you will have the best in life. I'm sorry to hear about your boyfriend, if that's true. That's very interesting. But before I log off, go ahead and hit the like button. She should probably get to pay. Oh my God. My sister got a job flipping burgers, but it was really a whorehouse and not a Burger King. She named her new baby Tyrone Jamal Jr. after the father. Oh my goodness. Hmm. Yeah, this is a story, all right. And $16 is gonna help you? For real. Yeah. Well, I wish you all the best of luck with your boyfriend and baby Tyrone. They are cutting up, ain't they? Hilarious. My goodness. I've never had this happen, so this is quite entertaining in itself. I need to look at my settings and see what changed. There's little Ty. Yes, there is little Tyrone. Man. On that note, thank you everybody for joining me this week. And I will be back next week. I'm really excited because you guys, I made it most of this year and I only missed a few weeks. Last week I missed because I wasn't feeling too good. My throat was a little scratchy, but I'm feeling a lot better now, and looking forward to continuing to go. I want to try and do something fun before the new year on here, so stay tuned for that. But again, hit that like button, and I will see you next week. No, we should stay so we can flame up homegirl. That's. I think she don't want no more of us.